Your body filled with a dreadful chill stared at your desk and the white old quill. Windy night, the quill moved slight. You turned the switch, seeking light. No light came, the bulb was dead. You thought of going back to bed. Suddenly noticed quill moved slight. You approached with all your might. Not in the wind. Window was closed. Heart raced, a message exposed. You read in horror, ink was red. Not the wind, go back to bed. Instead, off pops my head. Again, I never stopped it, I said. No. As a child, I played in the forest nearby. One evening, I heard a little girl cry. It was obvious she was lost in the middle of winter's frost. I ran out in a frantic search. Bells rang in our local church. Ran past her, followed the cries. My fear for her began to rise. Cries turned into a continuous weep. I never felt emotion so deep. Looked up, dropped to my knees. A dying cow I saw in the trees. Night arrived as you fell into a deep dream. Outside your window you heard a loud scream. Was it a scream or was it a crash? Looked on your arm, noticed a gash. Seemed forever as silence came. Full moon covered in a flame. Never experienced such a dream. Seconds later another scream. Shivering cold. You dared to look, hit in your window. Long brown hook. You gasped for air as you woke. Broken branch from your oak. Whoa, woke one night with a pain, hair-soaked, pillow stained. There was nothing I could hear. A human shadow did appear, slowly crept out of bed, stunned as I stood, as I bled. Could not hear the dripping sound as my blood soaked the ground. Could not move as I was engrossed, as I stared at the ghost. He was missing his right ear. The ghost was me, it was clear. Well, there was a ghost in my room, and a witch on a broom, vampires under my bed, a headless monster in the shed. All these characters are pretty scary. The werewolf is very hairy. They always seem to appear at night. To protect me, I need a knight. Which one do I fear the most? It's gotta be that ugly ghost, always walking without a head. He calls himself Mr. Fred, until off pops my head. They walked to school, it was dark. Heard a roar, or was it a bark? Walked like zombies, I must say. Their skin was old and very gray. In the field where children play, dug a hole without delay. They decided to hide inside. Just be careful when you slide. During at recess, kids came to play. Zombie hands searched for prey. When a boy came too close, in the ground he saw zombie toes. Old scary witch lived down the street. Insects and rats she would eat. Acting evil was her game. I knew the spells to make a flame. Old scary witch lived down the street. Only 8 kids that were very sweet. She had this old scary black cat. He ate other cats that made him fat. Old scary witch lived down the street. She was missing both her feet. You guessed it, it was her cat. He ate both her feet and her back. She ran her hardest as they chased blood in her mouth she could taste. She looked back, eyes were wide. Wet and massacre, she was the bride. All her anger she held tight. Looked ahead, saw just night. Suddenly stopped and turned around. Ghostly figures from her town. Dead groom asked, what have you done? Anger she held was actually a gun. It's your baby. Bang, you shot me down. Bang, bang, I hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful horrible sound. Fud, fud, and cold blood. Bang, bang, goes off the gun. He lived on the east side of town. Anger filled his evil frown. 20 years he worked the shop. Master frets and the chop. He worked best year in heavy fog. A search for victims that would jog. Threw them right into his van. To cause sorrow was his plan. He made sure to chop each limb, but first he'd tear off all their skin. When they yelled, oh please, oh stop, he'd smile and say, welcome to my butcher shop. Chop, 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 chop. Welcome to my butcher shop. Chop, chop, chop. Welcome to my butcher shop. I'll chop you. I'll chop. The scarecrow caught our youthful attention on the first day that we saw after school, and we considered then and there to steal a a closer look, with a setting sun gleaming in our eyes. We snuck into old Farmer Dooley's field, and it was obtrusively as we could. We made our way out to the dark silhouette. We noticed the crows from the road, but seeing them all gathered around the scarecrow up close now completely unnerved us. The numerous crows themselves shifted uneasily why they had congregated around the scarecrow. We could not say, but we immediately noticed that the detail put into the making of the straw man went well beyond the normal call of duty. He looked to be made of old clothes, gloves, and gunny cloth, and from the bits of hay that stuck out here and there from his collar and cuffs, we gathered he must have been stuffed with straw. Yet even so, old Farmer Dooley had crafted his effigy into such a superb mold that not only could we make out knees and elbows, but thick gloved hands. Everything fit into just the right proportions. My forever horror story poem. Spit 'em, I know them.